You can see the fans right there in South Africa, Pretoria, celebrating and chanting, clapping for their fans of what they've been able to do. Mamelodi Sundowns have been consistent when it comes to the Champions League, and they're once again in the semi-finals of this one. And joining us this morning and afternoon in South Africa is a senior journalist with SABC Sport, talking about Mazola, Molefe. Good afternoon or good morning to you. Welcome to In The Game.
Hey, Favour, good to see you again, and thanks for inviting me to the show, and a good afternoon from South Africa to your viewers.
All right, you were in the stadium where Mamelodi Sundowns triumphed over Young Africans. A difficult game, I must say, compared to what we always have with Mamelodi Sundowns. He ended in a draw and he took penalties, which of course some people will say is a game of luck. But what's your take and assessment of the game played right here in South Africa?
Yeah, I must say, I don't think Mamelodi Sundowns played to their best. I think Young Africans, as their away side, showed a lot more intent to try and win the game. And, maybe we must open the discussion about goal line technology in the CAF Champions League, because from where I was sitting, and obviously being a touchline presenter for SABC Sport, I had the monitor in front of me sitting behind Coach Miguel Gamondi of Young Africans, and the ball crossed the line, Favour. I don't know what else to tell you, but the ball crossed the line. I think Young Africans should have gone 1-0 ahead. And on the balance of play, I think they were better, especially in the second half, and should have won the game. But, VAR decided not to go against the referee's decision. And obviously, it went to penalties. And we know with Ronwen Williams' history and how he studies penalty takers, Mamelodi Sundowns immediately were the favorites to go through.
All right, let's talk about the coach, Miguel Gamondi, coach of Young Africans. He did say something at the post-match press conference. He complained of an opportunity that he felt his team should have had, courtesy VAR, but the referee failed to look at the VAR, and he's not really happy. He felt cheated by the officiating at that particular point. Do you agree with his sentiment towards that particular game?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, he's a coach that's aggrieved. I think if it was the other way around, he would have obviously celebrated that the decision went in his favor. If it was Coach Hulani Mokoena on the other side as Mamelodi Sundowns coach, he probably would have said the same thing. I think maybe to say, the integrity of South African or of the CAF Champions League rather was sullied a little bit by those decisions. Maybe he's taking it a bit too far. Mistakes do happen. They have happened. And obviously African football is improving by the introduction of VAR over the last couple of years. As I said, maybe now it's time to open up the discussion around a goal line technology. But yes, you can't fault the coach for his sentiments, for feeling the way that he did feel after the game. Obviously, the heat of the moment. I mean, that post-match press conference took place only 10 minutes after the game. So obviously, he was still quite emotional. And like I said to you earlier, in my opinion, the ball crossed the line. I think it should have been Young Africans in the semi-final of the CAF Champions League.
All right, then let's quickly take some excerpts from both coaches, Mokoena and Bogadi will be back shortly.
Good innings in this year's Champions League. I thought they were worthy opponents and very resolute, so difficult to break down. Well coached with some very, very good players. So commiserations and maybe take this opportunity to wish them the best with the remainder of the season. Let me also congratulate this team, Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club, for reaching the semi-finals. What is it, the second time in a row now, which is very important.
I think everybody was what happened here. Everybody. If there are somebody here in this saal, he tell me it's no goal, I can argue, I can watch in the TV. If somebody can explain me why the referee don't go to check himself, but he want to check if Lomalisa deserve a yellow card or red card, it's suspicious at least. If we want to defend the credibility of the African football, starting for that, my friends, winning the game, no problem, but winning clear.
All right, Gamondi, not happy with the officiating, especially for that call. We just talked about it. But quickly, Mamelodi Sundowns are due to play either the winner of between ASEC Mimosa or Esperance. The route to the finals, quite still difficult. ASEC Mimosa, a big day, big team when it comes to football in Côte d'Ivoire. And for Esperance, they are not a new name. They are a powerhouse also in North Africa. These teams will definitely pose a threat to Mamelodi Sundowns.
No, absolutely, Favour. You know, when you get to this level of this stage of the competition, any fixture is tough. We saw Mamelodi Sundowns were favourites from the beginning when they drew Yanga for the quarterfinal stages, but they had a tough time in the away leg in Dar es Salaam. They had a tough time last night in Pretoria for the second leg. And, you know, apart from obviously the VAR decision that went against Miguel Gamondi's side, you know, Mamelodi Sundowns were, in my opinion, not at their very best, especially in that second half performance. If you look at, you know, the teams that remain, Pedro facing TP Mazembe, you have Esperance, the Tunis, taking on ASEC Mimosa as well. Still very tough oppositions. It doesn't matter. Ahly obviously are through after beating another Tanzanian side in Simba. And also there's a discussion around the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. It's neck and neck between Esperance as well as Mamelodi Sundowns. We know Africa will have a lot more sports now, so it's all to fight for, but you can't call it really. You can't put your head on the chopping block to decide who's gonna go all the way at this stage of the competition. It's very tough. All right,
before we let you go, quickly let's talk about Ahly of Egypt, defending champions, through to the semi-finals, stroll in the park in that particular game against SABC, and they'll be looking forward to the semi-finals. Your take on the game between Ahly and SABC?
Yeah, as soon as the Egyptians won the away leg when they played in Tanzania, I thought it would be a walk in the park when they play in Cairo. Simba are traditionally awful travelers. When they are on the road, they're not so good. But if you look at their home record, that's where they usually get points, or they go through in terms of the latter stages of these cup competitions, especially in CAF interclubs. But you know, one would say maybe Ahly remain favourites, even though, as I said earlier, this competition at this stage of the tournament is still very tough. It's difficult to predict, but they're on good form right now. And they, you know, everybody will be looking at them to probably continue to dominate African football.
All right, thank you very much, Mazola, for your quality time. And interestingly, the ladies, Banyana Banyana, lost that game against Nigeria. But I just want to ask you a question. The stadium that Mamelodi Sundowns played in yesterday will be the stadium that Nigeria Super Falcons will play on Tuesday. How much of hostility will the Super Falcons receive from the South Africans? We know fully well that the tickets have gone on sale even before now, and you know, with all the things that happened right here.
Yeah, it will be difficult. That you know, unfortunately in South Africa we've got a terrible attendance record, especially given that games, especially if they are midweek and they are in the evenings. So Coach Desiree Ellis hopes that South Africans come show Banyana Banyana support to give the Super Falcons some hostility. But it's going to be difficult to fill up that stadium, which is where Mamelodi Sundowns played against Young Africans. But yeah, we didn't see the game last night because Nigeria didn't give us the feed.
All right, Mazola, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, you were making the thoughts. Please go on.
Yes, I'm saying we didn't see the game between Banyana Banyana and the Super Falcons because Nigeria did not give us the feed. So we only saw the scoreline, but we don't know what really happened in that stadium.
Oh, okay, this not just in South Africa, even in Nigeria, we also complained. I struggled to watch the game. I was using, of course, we know how it went. So it was not a case of just the South Africans complaining alone, but of course, we apologize on their behalf, and we hope that we can do better. But these are some of the things we were able to get on your screens. You could see some pictures from the game. But of course, your goalkeeper, Swat, was brilliant. Was fantastic on the evening. And, well, it's still all to play for in South Africa, but we must also thank you. We'll wait to see what happens in the next few days. But thank you very much for your quality time, and congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns for what they have been doing.
Always a pleasure, Favour. See you next time.